Today, we will learn about the position of adverbs. So let's start. We know that adverbs are those words that modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. For example, he wrote a letter carefully. Here, the word wrote is a verb, and the word carefully is modifying the verb wrote. So carefully is an adverb. She is looking very beautiful. Here, the word looking is a verb, and beautiful is an adjective, and very is an adverb which is modifying the adjective beautiful. The rat is running very quickly. Here, verb is running. Adverb is quickly. And what is this? Very. Very is an adverb which is modifying another adverb quickly. So, adverbs are those words that modify verbs, adjectives, and another adverbs. There are many types of adverbs in English language. Adverbs of place, adverbs of time, adverbs of manner, adverbs of frequency, adverbs of purpose, and we have learned about all of them. Now, we will have some rules regarding the order in which adverbs are placed in a sentence. Let's learn the first rule. The adverbs of place, time, and manner are always placed after the verbs. I repeat, the adverbs of place, time, and manner are always placed after the verbs. Example, he sang beautifully. This is an adverb of manner, so it is placed after the verb sang. She roamed everywhere. But the adverb everywhere is an adverb of place, so it is placed after the verb roamed. He is coming tonight. Here, the adverb tonight is an adverb of time, so it is placed after the verb coming. He drives carefully. Here, the adverb carefully is an adverb of manner, so it is placed after the verb drives. So, adverbs of place, time, and manner are always placed after the verbs. Now let's learn another rule. When a sentence contains a direct object, the adverbs of place, time, or manner are placed after the direct object and not after the verb. She sang the song beautifully. Here, the adverb beautifully is an adverb of manner. But the sentence also contains a direct object, the song. So, the adverb beautifully is placed after the direct object and not after the verb. The dog scattered the biscuits everywhere. Here, the adverb everywhere is an adverb of place, but the sentence also contains a direct object, the biscuits. So, the adverb everywhere is placed after the direct object and not after the verb. Now, let's learn exception. The adverb well, which is an adverb of manner, can also be placed in the middle of a sentence. For example, the essay was written well. Here, the adverb well, which is an adverb of manner, after the verb written. Here we have the next sentence. The essay was well written. Here, the adverb well is not placed after the verb, but it is placed in the middle of the sentence before the verb, and this is also not wrong. Here we have another example. The speech was very well designed. Here, well is an adverb of manner, but it's not coming after the verb, but it's there in the middle of the sentence before the verb, and it's also right. Now, let's learn the next rule. Some of the adverbs of place can be placed in the final as well as in the first position. Let's see. The girls were giggling outside. Outside, the girls were giggling. You can notice that the word outside, which is an adverb of place, is placed in the end of the first sentence. And when it is placed in the beginning of the sentence, it has a comma after it. So, whenever an adverb is placed at the first position in a sentence, it is always followed by a comma. Here we have more examples. The birds were chirping on the trees. On the trees, the birds were chirping. Here, the adverb phrase or adverbial on the trees is used in the end of the first sentence and in the beginning of the second sentence. And when it is used in the beginning, it is followed by a comma. Now here we have the next rule. When two adverbs of place are placed in the last part of a sentence, then the smaller unit comes before the larger unit. Here we have examples to understand better. Amelia is from Toronto, Canada. In this sentence, there are two adverbs of place, Toronto and Canada. And we know that Toronto is a smaller unit than Canada. So, it is placed before the bigger unit, Canada. And both the units are separated by a comma. If we want to use the adverbs of place in the front position, then only the bigger unit can be moved to the first place. For example, in Canada, Amelia is from Toronto. The sentence can never be like, in Toronto, Amelia is from Canada. So, the bigger unit is always placed in the front position when there are more than two adverbs of place. Let's have some more examples. The Eiffel Tower is situated in France, Paris. Is this sentence correct? No, it is not correct. There are two adverbs of place, and the bigger unit, France, should be placed after the smaller unit, Paris. So, the right sentence is, Eiffel Tower is situated in Paris, France. Now, let's learn about the position of adverbs of time. Like all other adverbs, the adverbs of time mostly occur in the last position. I went for a movie yesterday. I saw Michael today. She stayed at her grandma's place for a week. He taught poor kids for several years. Halley's Comet appears after every 76 years. So, adverbs yesterday, today, for a week, several years, and after every 76 years tells us about the time of the action, and they are placed at the end in all the sentences. And when we want to highlight the time in a sentence, we put an adverb in the first position followed by a comma. Yesterday, I went for a movie. Today, I saw Michael. For a week, she stayed at her grandma's place. For several years, he taught the poor kids. After every 76 years, Halley's Comet appears. In these sentences, the adverbs of time are placed in the beginning and are followed by a comma. In these sentences, the time of action is more important than the actual action itself. So, when adverb of time comes in the beginning of a sentence, The tie of the action is more important than the action itself. Now let's learn one more thing about using the adverbs of time. We need to tell how long the action ran, is running, or will run. We use the conjunction for. And if we want to express the starting point of some action or event, we use the conjunction since. Now let's see some examples. We exercise for 2 hours every day. They are practicing yoga for 2 hours daily. They have lived in Toronto for a long time. He has been practicing cricket for 3 months. He will be staying with us for a week. So we use for to express the duration of an action. Now let's see the usage of since. I have been studying since 5 o'clock. I have been practicing cricket since February. I have not seen Michael since Sunday. Joseph has been working on his project since January. Now we need to learn one more thing about using the adverbs of time. If we need to use more than one adverb of time in a sentence together, we must remember this formula. How long, how often, when. That is, first the adverb of time, that is, referring to how long an action comes, appear, then how often, and in the last, when. Here are the example sentences. The journal was published monthly last year. In this sentence, we have 2 adverbs of time, monthly and last year. Monthly answers the question, how often? Last year answers the question, when? So the order is followed. First is how often, and then when. Here we have the next sentence. I stayed at my grandma's place for 2 weeks last year. Here again, we have 2 adverbs of time, for 2 weeks and last year. For 2 weeks, answer the question, how long? And last year, when? So again, it follows the sequence how long and when. So we have learned a lot about adverbs of place, manner, and time. Now it's time to learn what happens when the adverbs of place, time, and manner come together in a sentence. Then again, we need to follow a sequence, and that sequence is manner, place, time. That is, the first adverbs of manners will come, then the adverbs of place will come, and in the last, we will have the adverbs of time. Here we have the example sentences. She performed very well on the stage this evening. So we have 3 adverbs. One is adverb of manner, adverb of place, and adverb of time. Very well, on the stage, and this evening. And they have followed the sequence manner, place, and time. Here we have another example. Michael came in quietly through the back door in the middle of the night. We have 3 types of adverbs in this sentence. Adverb of manner, adverb of place, adverb of time, and they have followed the sequence manner, place, and time. Now let's learn about the adverbs of frequency and their position. Adverbs of frequency are those adverbs that tell us the oftenness of the occurrence of an action and are a bit different from the rest of the adverbs. Now let's see a few examples. I often visit my grandma. She rarely comes at parties. I occasionally eat pizza. Here, the words often, rarely, and occasionally are the adverbs of frequency, as they tell us how often the actions take place. Now let's see a few examples, adverbs of frequency that are placed at the end. I visit Niagara Falls frequently. Here, frequently is the adverb of frequency, and it is placed in the end of the sentence. I go to church occasionally. I do cardio exercises regularly. Here, occasionally and regularly are adverbs of frequency, placed at the end of the sentence. Now let's see adverbs of frequency placed in the middle of the sentence. He is often late for his dance classes. We usually go for a walk in the evening. I usually get up late on Sundays. John is never late for his school. So these are some adverbs of frequency placed in the middle of the sentence. So friends, today we learned a lot about the position of different types of adverbs. Now you may go ahead and take a quiz to learn more. Bye-bye. Tutway has thousands of animated videos on math, English, and science to clear the core basics of these subjects.